Hello from Not Factory Approved. I decided to up my game today, get all dressed up. No, actually, I happen to be all dressed up. I just thought I'd do this ask while I'm all dressed up. So it's recently come to my attention that the YouTuber has upped their demands so that they will not monetize anybody unless you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewed material. It used to be 4,500 minutes, and I exceeded that, and now it's dropped off to 0 again for me. So 4,000 hours is not a threshold I ever expect to exceed. So if you would consider moving over to rumble.com to watch these videos, then at least they will monetize immediately. May not be much, but it's a little bit of a help. So if you would consider doing that, I'd appreciate it. If you want to continue with the YouTube, I would be fine with that as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the material I've presented so far, and I will continue doing what I can. Thank you. Here's another problem to take care of on the old Cadillac. That is the flywheel. It's more like a flywheel than a ring gear or drive plate for more modern automatic. It's at least 1/4 inch thick, pretty heavy. In the middle is actually a bearing, not a bushing, and there's oil, transmission oil, on the front side of that plate. So obviously it's leaking through the bearing, and whatever seal is supposed to be there is not there. So I have to try and figure out, I have to take it off and figure out why it's leaking, because it is pretty substantial. So better do this now while the transmission's out. So here's the front side of a flywheel, and you can see that it's all oily, and the matching plate to this is all oily too, the crankshaft. So that's where it's leaking, and there's no oil on the back of the block, so it's not coming through like a crack in the drive plate of the crank or anything like that. So there's apparently a seal, should be there. There wasn't one there originally, so I'll have to check the manual. Might have to make one. Either way, silicone seal or make a seal. I'll probably make one. I've made a gasket. I can find no reference in the manual to a gasket anywhere, but if you're relying on this metal face to be a seal, it seems there's got to be a gasket. So I've used this 1/32 neoprene, cut it out. I might have to cut the holes a little bigger yet, but the center hole is clear, and it's about the right outside diameter. And it just has to seal the back of the crankshaft and this drive plate. The next thing, I'll just make sure there's no lumps or anything that's possibly going to cause a leak there, and then I'll put it back on. One thing that's important to do is to make sure it's clean. I've cleaned that off and made sure that the gasket fits within the clean area. So that should seal. It gets torqued up to around 90 foot-pounds, so it should compress it quite well. And that 1/32 neoprene should take care of any irregularities. So I've done a crosshatch pattern on the metal, and it looks like it's pretty flat. I haven't measured it, but there's no rust pits or anything in there, so that should seal. What I found with the flywheel was that even 1/32 rubber, I had to keep torquing it up. I torqued it up to 90, left it for 2 weeks, since the car is just sitting here anyway and I was waiting for parts, the machining work. Then I torqued it up again. Each time it was down about 5 foot-pounds, so it took to the 4th time before it finally stopped loosening. So I'm not sure what that means for future use with heating and cooling all the time, but I'm going to try it anyway. If you're doing it, I would recommend buying some gasket material and making a gasket out of paper gasket material, not rubber.
Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or even notify, or any of the above, or all of the above. Thank you.